Good evening. It's me again. I'm on my way to the gym again, another evening. I had some things to do today and I did have a late start. I woke up closer to 8 this morning. I felt like for some reason I had to catch up on sleep. I ended up staying out until about 9:30, still had like a 30-minute drive home. So I didn't get bed until late. Usually I do say no to things that are late, and twice this week I've done something that kept me out later than usual. One was going to a concert, and then the other one was going with a friend. And I haven't seen this friend in over 2 months, so I said, sure, I want to have dinner with you. We went to a really unique place. It was a hamburger place, but I ended up getting salad. It was pretty good. It was really good catching up. Usually we get into conversations and we end up calling in a night before we're completely done talking. I think we could probably talk for a long time. But at some point we gotta be like, hey, we gotta get some sleep. Because usually we do meet up during the week and then he's gotta wake up early in the morning. We met off of this app called Time Left. If you're new to an area, or even if you've lived in an area for quite a while and you're trying to be more social, more out there, meet new people, make new friends, it's a completely non-dating, nothing romantic. It's just like a blind date, but for friends. Put you in your age group. And when I went, I've only been one time. They put me in the same age group and there was 6 of us, 3 guys, 3 ladies. We just met and had dinner and chatted and collected each other's information, and then afterwards they recommend maybe a place that you go for something more social, to get drinks if you're a drinker, or if you just like going to the bar and hanging out, you can get you a non-alcoholic drink. But we kept in touch. We vibed on reading books and spirituality and consciousness. So we became really good friends with him a year. So an interesting story is that right before I got this truck, I had a Toyota Camry. Well, I needed to get rid of that Camry and I was not knowing what I was going to get afterwards or when. But I already had a trip lined up that I needed to drive. So I was going on a road trip. So we met one weekend and he said, hey, you want to continue hanging on? I said, well, not really. I need to go car shopping. I said, I really need to do this because I have plans to go on this road trip. I need to find a vehicle. And he says, well, why are you going to go shopping for a car? I have an extra one you can borrow. I said, you just have an extra one laying around that I can borrow? And we only had known each other for maybe a few months. But we both had this feeling that we could really trust each other. And I took his car, gave it back to him, no issues. And I would have done the same for him, only knowing him a few months. Sometimes you meet people like that in your life and you can completely trust them. So I remember around that period where I was really wanting to come out of my shell. The year prior to that, I had got divorced. And I really didn't, when I was married, I really didn't go and socialize and meet new people. I was just home, family life, and that was it. I almost didn't go. I contemplated canceling, not going, but I wouldn't really have met a really great friend, and we always make a point to make time for each other and get each other involved in maybe things that we're trying new, and it's been a really great friendship. Which it really brings me to this point of just thinking, what has fear done for you? So fear is on the bottom of the vibrational energy chart. But however, fear doesn't always have to be something negative. We can look at fear and think about what kind of growth has come from it. Just that situation there, I wasn't used to putting myself out there, meeting new people. I wasn't looking for a relationship of any type. So I was comfortable with it being just for friends, but I ended up really getting a really good friend out of it. And that taught me that getting out there shouldn't be as scary as I thought. So I looked at it as whenever there's fear, it's an opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to overcome, have courage, and now things look so much easier. Another example is starting this YouTube channel. There is fear of putting yourself out there and putting out your information and your face, and what if no one likes me? What if no one watches my stuff? What if I get hateful comments? And I know it's coming eventually. Nobody really watches my stuff now, but eventually it's going to get out there, and there's going to be a percentage of people that vibe with me, and there's going to be a percentage that completely disagree, and I have to be okay with that. But I also looked at fear and I says, okay, well, with that fear, what's the worst thing that could happen? Is the worst thing that could happen be really that scary? I said to myself, no, it's really not that bad. So it gave me an opportunity to grow, and now I'm at a point where I don't care. And I think I'm of an age that, and me and my friend were kind of talking about this yesterday, that we are both in our later 30s, and we are to a point where we don't really care. Everybody has their own opinion about every little single thing, every little single topic. I don't even touch religion or politics with anyone because you can't really change anybody's mind. You can't go back and forth and have an argument. Everybody has their opinion and they're going to stick with it. So, and sometimes because you're a certain demographic, they expect you to believe in these certain things, and every time I just say, I don't have a comment. And there's nothing really that anybody can really say that I'm going to change what I'm doing or the message that I want to try to push. Because I know my intentions. I know that I have stories of struggle, and if I can help somebody going through one, I would want to do that. Just like this morning, I wasn't in maybe the best positive outlook this morning, but I knew it was temporary. And I was having a discussion with a family member, and they were going through something. I said, one, don't try to always seek out the negative. Don't take somebody's negative word as the truth. And remember that what you're going through is just temporary. Pain and struggle is just temporary. Eventually, you're going to get through this part of your life, and you're going to look back and you're going to say, wow, look how far I've came. I don't remember the actual name of the actor, but I know what movie he played in, and it was called Mr. Bean. And I had seen him on this clip before, and he says, when you zoom into life, it's a complete tragedy. But when you zoom out, it's a comedy. And I never looked at it like that before, and I was like, wow, that's so true. When we hyper focus on what's really troubling us, we tend to look at there's no way out of it. No one understands what I'm going through. I'm the only one that's going through this. But when you take a minute and come back to the present and you realize, well, this is just pain in the moment. Tomorrow's another day. Next week is another week. Next month is just another month. And next year could be completely turned around from what I'm going through right now. So right now I am headed back to the car wash. Having a membership to the car wash was one of the best ideas that someone's had. Best thing since sliced bread. We are done with the car wash, all dried up, vacuumed. It's like equivalent to making your bed. It's just, you feel better afterwards. Looking at it, it's like satisfying. I'm here at the gym, finally. Going just to my regular gym, the circuit training gym. I'm thinking I'm gonna go tomorrow morning. Because I know when I come in the evening, I'm like starving, because it's just a really hard workout, and I don't like eating heavy at night, and also usually I'm up early, so I don't want to eat that late. I am going to go to bed early tonight so I can go back to my normal early routine. I would recommend thinking about what fear has taught you. There's a story I was telling my friend yesterday. I saw the clip right before I went into dinner with my friend. And there's a guy, I first started following him on Instagram, and what caught my attention is that every day he was uploading a video and he was saying, today I'm in this much in debt and I'm this much closer to buying my house cash. Well, he did live in LA, but he was buying a house cash in Michigan, which you can do that in Michigan versus California. So I've been watching his content for about a year now, and it's funny because I was in a random store in LA in a mall last year, and somehow that guy's page, we started talking about it, and he says, well, actually I was his manager at Starbucks. So it's really cool to see him evolve. Well, the video that I watched last night, he was addressing the hate comments that he was getting, and he has now about 200,000 followers on Instagram, and now he has a following on YouTube, and he's a pretty young guy. And I usually don't ever comment, right? But I always told myself if I do comment, I want it to be positive. So basically what I told him is that don't pay attention to these people. The smallness of them is spewing hate. They're only trying to put you down to make themselves feel better, but it never works. And I just told him to keep going. So hopefully that brought him some kind of motivation to just continue what he's been doing. He has a wife and he has a kid, and he's making a lot of content, and somebody that makes content and edits videos, watching his clips, I know how much work he puts into it. It's not always so easy just even doing a 10-minute video, sometimes even a 5-minute video. How many cuts you have to take and pauses and mistakes and just different shots that you want to show, it takes a lot of work. So there's a lot of fear that we've had to overcome, and being on social media and being a content creator is not the easiest. So show a little grace, mercy. I'm not saying not me. I could really care less about any hate comments, but some of these guys, some of these younger folks are out there, haven't been exposed to enough of the real world that not everybody is going to like them, not everybody is going to appreciate their work. For me, I can spend a few hours on a video and only get so many views. So before you have a thought of getting on a comment and showing some hate, just think of a time where fear has kept you in the same place and you didn't have the courage to really push yourself to the limit. But that's a wrap for today. Thanks for listening. I'm gonna go and head into the gym. I am being a little less camera shy, especially like when I'm out in public and people see me videotaping myself. I'm like, whatever, what are they gonna tell me? And I really don't get discouraged about spending a lot of time on a video and nobody watches it, because I know one day they will.